Namaste, welcome to Hatha Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. Let's start in a comfortable seat. Make sure you have a couple of yoga blocks or items that can be used as blocks, as well as a strap. Take a moment to arrive in your practice. Position your body so that you can connect to the surface below. Maybe rock a little if you're sitting up. Spread your weight through both sitting bones. Do a little check-in. Maybe it means turning your gaze inward and closing your eyes, or moving the body around. Notice how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. Sense the quality of your breath just as it is. One of the modern pioneers of yoga, BKS Iyengar, said, "Our greed comes from our fear that we will not have enough, whether it is money or love that we grasp. Yoga teaches us to let go of these fears, and so to realize the abundance around us and within us." He points to a very common scarcity mentality. It's interesting, we finished 108 sun salutations together, all of you who are here live, woohoo, welcoming the new year of 2022, just a couple of days ago. And I heard from some of you afterwards, wow, I didn't know that I could do it. I thought I would do like half or less. And I did, I finished. And isn't that interesting how our mind can give us these limitations? Our perception can give us these limitations, but when we really put the fire into the practice, or we embrace a heart expanded perspective, the I can, the I am, right, that yoga teaches us, we open up to possibilities. Then our body can follow suit. As we open our minds, as we open our breaths, as we open our hearts, all that stuff that may seem like boundaries can start to dissipate. And so there is enough for all of us. There is enough for everyone to feel successful. And the yoga practice teaches us two things, well, many things. In the first limb, asteya means non-stealing, non-grasping. And it's rooted in the belief that I'm enough. I don't need to go look to someone else's whatever and want that or covet that. I can find a sense of santosha, which is from the second limb of yoga, which means contentment within myself. So how do we tap into that inner powerhouse, the inner source of peace, of vitality, of enoughness, as we practice our physical poses, our meditation, our breath work today? So get comfortable, sit up right, maybe bring your palms to meet at your heart. Center in on your focus, your chosen focus for this practice today. Maybe saying in your mind, your sankalpa, your heart-centered intention. Take a deep inhale, sit up a little taller as you root your pelvis. Open the mouth, let any sound release. Again, inhaling deeply, feel your belly expand, your rib cage expand as you lift the chest. Keep the chest lifted, relax the shoulders, open the mouth, let any sound go. And let's prepare to chant 3 ohms, sending our intentions out and feeling the resonance within. Empty this breath. Inhale deeply. open towards your inner teacher. And let's begin to deepen the breath with the mouth closed, softly narrowing the back of the throat, inviting a gentle whisper in the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing. Take your time to reach the very top of your inhalation and to take just as long to reach the very bottom of your exhalation. So in that mindfulness of breathing, we bring mindfulness of moving. And as you keep your breath rhythm going through much of this practice, let's make our way down into child's pose. Come on down to your knees, set your feet together towards the rear edge of your mat, and knees can be together or as wide apart as it's comfortable for you, resting your arms wherever you like as we take 5 slow breaths here, listening in on the quality of your breath. Extending your arms forward, separate your hands, shoulders width apart, pointing the index fingers both forward so they're parallel to each other. On your next inhalation, glide forward onto hands and knees, stacking your shoulders over your wrists, parallel your shins. As you exhale, scoop the belly in, dropping your head to round your back into cat pose. Inhale, press your chest forward, roll your shoulders behind the ears, dropping them as you look up into cat pose. Exhale, contract your belly, dropping your head, tuck your tailbone under to cow pose. Cat pose. And then take a few more cycles of cat-cow or Bitalasana. We had a request from our 108 salutation practitioners who are all here with us today live to focus on opening up our hamstrings and our triceps and shoulders. So we're going to start with some of those before we start to flow a bit. So come back to hands and knees. Set your knees a couple inches behind your hips. Now, as you inhale, raise your right arm up high, open up across your chest and your upper back. As you exhale, thread the right arm underneath your left bent elbow. Lower your right side of your head to the ground or place a block underneath it. As you flare your left elbow up, press the ground away with the left hand, gently twisting while keeping your 2 hips leveled on the left and right sides. Let's take about 3 more breaths here, spreading the shoulder blades across your back ribs and sending them down your back. Throughout this month, this first month of 2022, we're actually going to be working on exploring the stages of practicing traditional headstand, known as Shirshasana. So these hamstring and shoulder and tricep stretches are going to be helpful for that practice. And you go at your own pace to the stage that's appropriate for you in the moment. So let's start to press up to hands and knees. Once you get there, inhale, raise your left arm up, stretch out to your full wingspan. Exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right bent elbow. Rest the left side of your head on the floor or propped up on a block. And then level out your 2 hips. So you're not turning your pelvis, but you're turning your rib cage in this twist. Let your breath expand across your upper back, softening the shoulders away from your neck. Take one more deep breath here and thread the needle. And then slowly come on up to hands and knees. And let's take your 2 blocks, placing them in front of you at their medium height, like a train that's crossing your mat. And as you stand on your knees or shins for a moment, extend your arms forward like Frankenstein, palms face down, and rotate your triceps towards the ground so that you spread the shoulder blades apart, which is protraction, and you draw them down your back, which is depression. And once you protract and depress the shoulder blades, place your bent elbows exactly shoulders width apart on the 2 blocks. Press your fingertips into each other so there's a sphere between your palms, an air sphere. And walk your knees back so they're slightly behind your hips. Trace your thumbs down the back of your skull, down the back of your neck, as far back as they'll go. As you keep your elbows on the blocks, only shoulders distance. Keep wrapping your triceps towards the floor as you drop your head, whatever degree it will fall. But engage your belly lightly so you're not just lax at the abdomen. You're lifting it slightly to support your lower back while drawing your sitting bones back. Let's take about 5 more breaths here, stretching into your latissimus dorsi along the sides of your upper back and into your triceps, the outer upper arms. One more deep breath. Engage your belly and slowly rise up. Back to all fours. Put the blocks aside. And please make your way to the top of your mat, standing there in a forward fold with your feet hips width apart and parallel. Bend your knees generously and let's reach the hands behind your lower back to either clasp or hold a strap between your hands. As you shift your weight towards the fronts of your heels, spreading your toes, lift your chest towards the front wall of your room, drawing the shoulders back, engage the belly in. As you exhale, bow from your hips, dropping your skull completely, let it hang, soften the back of your neck. Let's take a few breaths here in this forward fold. You might gently sway the spine side to sides, softly straightening one leg and leaning into it, and then switching. All the while, stretch the arms forward away from your lower back and lift your shoulder bones up away from your neck. Let's take about 3 more breaths. Soften your jaw, maybe flutter the lips if the jaw is tense. And as you lower the arms, bend your knees a lot more, drop your arms, drop your head, and as you breathe in, start to roll your spine upright as if stacking 1 vertebra at a time and lifting your head last. Shrugging the shoulders as you arrive at the top, drop them back and down, turning your palms to face forward in Tadasana, mountain pose. Pause here, restate your intention for your practice, and perhaps also call to mind someone or something that you are devoted to or care about or love that you might offer your practice to today. Let's begin sun salutation, half sun salutations, Ardha Surya Namaskar. As you root down through the 4 corners of each foot, inhale, circle your arms apart, then let your palms meet above. Gaze up. Bending your knees if you need. Exhale, bow from your hips. Pressing your legs or the ground ahead with your fingertips. Inhale, stretch the top of your head forward and lengthen your spine. Exhale, bow again. From down to your feet, inhale, sweep your arms apart, rise all the way up. Watch your palms meet at the top. And as though blessing yourself, exhale, trace your hands in prayer down the center of your body, back to mountain pose. Adding on sun salutation C, 1 breath each movement. Inhale, reach the arms forward this time. Drop your shoulders back, gaze up. As you exhale, sweep your arms forward and bow from your hips. Place your hands outside your feet, maybe using blocks. Inhale, step the left knee back. Kneeling lunge, look up. Hold your breath and step to your plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, chest and chin. Hug the elbows to your ribs. Inhale, slide your belly and legs to the floor and coil your chest up, cobra pose. Exhale, lift your hips high and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb. Lower your right knee and look up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Inhale, scoop your arms forward, rise to stand, dropping the shoulders back, look up. Exhale, your palms together at your heart. One more, second side, Surya Namaskar C. Inhale the arms forward, drop the shoulders, look up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, step your right knee back, look up. Hold the breath and step to plank. Exhale, lower your knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slide to the ground and cobra, dropping the shoulders back. Exhale, lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward, left knee down, look up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Inhale, scoop your arms forward, rise all the way to stand. Exhale, trace your thumbs down your center line. From here, let's grab our blocks and place them on their tallest height, framing your heels. Place your fingertips on your blocks and step the ball of your left foot far back into a high lunge. Let's warm up the hamstrings and then we'll give them a stretch in a pose. Inhale in your lunge, sink your hips. Exhale, straighten your front leg to your capacity as you bow to the inside of it. Try to bow like you have a flat back. Inhale, return to the lunge. Exhale, straighten and bow. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, straighten, pyramid pose. A few more rounds, inhale, lunge. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, lunge. And exhale, straighten. Now, come back to your lunge for a moment so that you can reach for your strap. And then once you have that, step your left foot 1/3 forward, shorter stance, and spin the heel down. Keep your feet hips width apart and your hips facing forward. Then bring your hands to your hips, press to your feet, and rise up to stand. Let's prepare to hold pyramid pose. Great one for opening up the back of your right thigh here. So hold the strap in your left hand. Raise your left arm and rotate your left tricep or outer upper arm forward. Press your two shoulders down and bring your left elbow behind your head. Then reach your right hand underneath, grab the other end of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can. Some of you might clasp your fingers and drop the strap. Then, as you spread your toes, energize your legs. Flex the front muscles of your thighs, engage your belly. Inhale, lift your heart and look up. Engage the belly still, and exhale, start to bow forward. Pausing as you breathe in to reroute your legs and tack the right hip back if it's shifting forward. Stretching the spine, bow a little more, each exhale. Pyramid pose. Or in Sanskrit, Parsvottanasana. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. Make sure that the natural space between your chin and chest is open. Press to your feet. Inhale, slowly rise just halfway up. Bring your hands back to the blocks. Step the left foot beside the right foot, top of your mat. Step the ball of your right foot all the way back to a high lunge. Let's take that flowing movement for side 2. Inhale, bend your front knees, sink your hips. Exhale, straighten your front leg and scissor the left hip back as you fold. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. 2 more rounds. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Come back to your lunge, grab your strap, then step the right foot forward, 1/3 shoulder stance, spinning the heel down. Have your feet hips width apart. Bring your hands to your hips, firm down through your feet to rise. This time hold the strap in your right hand and raise your right arm, dangling the strap behind you. Use your left hand to rotate your right tricep forward as you press your 2 shoulders down and bring your right elbow behind your head. Reach your left hand underneath, grab the other end of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can, maybe releasing the strap if your hands clasp. Then spread your toes, activate your quadriceps, your belly, breathe in and look up. Breathe out, stretch your sternum, middle of your chest towards your front wall as you begin to bow forward. Pause as you breathe in, re-energize your legs, and draw your sternum further forward, sending the left hip back. Exhale, fold a little more. Keep going, about 4 more breaths in Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Inhale, lift your chest, come up halfway. Place your hands on the blocks. Exhale, step up to the front of your mat. Bring the inner edges of your big toes to touch. We're gonna start Sun Salutation B, going for 3 rounds so we can warm ourselves up. Bend your knees together. Inhale, sink your hips back. Raise your arms in chair pose. Flowing to your breath, exhale, bow forward. Press your legs to the ground. Inhale, stretch the top of your head forward. Step back into your plank pose. Exhale, lower forward through Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, softly step it forward beside your right thumb. Feet or hips width apart as you drop the back heel. Inhale, rise facing forward to Warrior One. Exhale, lower through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale, Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, step the foot forward beside your left thumb. Spin the right heel down. Inhale, rise facing forward, Warrior One, Virabhadrasana One. Exhale, lower through Chaturanga into your version of your vinyasa. We'll meet in Downward Dog. Once there, take 3 to 5 deep breaths. Slow down your breathing, still your body, and steady your gaze. Next, inhale, bend your knees, lift your heels and hips high. Exhale, look past your hands. Then walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Feet together in your forward fold. Inhale, rise forward halfway up. Exhale, fold in. Bend your knees together. Inhale, sit back in chair. Exhale, rise up, hands together in mountain pose. 2 more cycles of Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Step or flow into Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. From downward dog, inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale into your vinyasa. Back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog, 3 to 5 breaths. Let this pause be a means of sharpening your mental focus, just like the flow is. Next inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Empty your breath, then walk or float. Inhale, lift the chest forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit low in chair. Exhale, rise up. Last round of sun salutation B, inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen forward. Step or float, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward. Exhale, downward. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, vinyasa. Downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, vinyasa. Downward dog, 3 to 5 breaths. Take rest whenever you need it. Remembering that Hatha, inherent in its word, means balance, harmonizing yin and yang, active and rest. When you're ready to, look forward and empty your breath. Then walk or lightly jump. Breathe in, lift your heart, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, chair pose. Breathe out, mountain pose. Let's take our blocks and turn to face the wide width of your mat. Open your arms and step or jump your feet almost as wide apart as your hands are, and then place your blocks on their tallest height behind your calves. So I'm gonna mirror you here. Turn out your right leg from the hip and pivot the foot 90 degrees to face the short edge of your mat. Turn your left leg 45 degrees inward and align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Let's prepare for triangle pose. So here, engage the front muscles of your thighs and root down through the outside edge of your left foot, big toe mound of your front foot. Engage the belly by drawing it in, lifting it up. Open your arms and relax your shoulders. Spine tall. Glide your hips towards your rear leg, the left foot, and reach your right hand horizontally forward past your right knee, way past, so that this right side of your torso is actively lengthening even as you set the right hand down. Whether it's on your right leg or just to the right of your leg, maybe you're using a block, pressing the arm and leg against each other still. As you raise the left arm up, feel the full expansion across your chest, across your upper back. Tack the crease of your right hip back towards your outer left foot. And in contrast, lengthen the top of your head forward towards the wall past your right toes. As you spiral your chest up towards the ceiling, maybe your gaze is just past the left thumb. Find a spot to steady your gaze on. Let's take 4 more breaths in Trikonasana, triangle pose. Firming down to your feet, inhale, slowly rise up, parallel your feet in a wide stance, and bring your hands behind you so we can open the fronts of your shoulders, whether it's fist to fist, like this, holding opposite elbows, Or reverse prayer, palm to palm, with fingertips sliding up between the shoulder blades. Pull in the belly, feet are parallel in this wide stance. Breathe in and drop your shoulders back as you look up. Breathe out, hinge from your hips, and try to maintain the feeling of a flat back. So if the back starts to round, you can bend your knees to return to that flat back. Keep shifting your weight forward as far as you can balance, and then just drop your skull. We're here for 5 breaths in this variation of Prasarita Padottanasana, which means wide-legged forward fold. Now, as you let your head fall, float your shoulders away from it and create even more space in your cervical spine. This is another posture that can help open your hamstrings as well as your back. Now, as you root down through your feet, bend your knees at least a little bit. Lift from your chest so you maintain the flat back, activating the belly. Inhale, rise. Open your arms apart, and now let's take triangle into side 2. So turn out your left leg from the hip, pivot the feet 90 degrees towards the short edge of your mat. Turn in the right leg 45 degrees, and align your left heel to the arch of your right foot. Stand tall, really feel the shoulders move down the back, belly engages, then glide your pelvis sideways towards your rear leg, reaching the left hand horizontally forward like you're trying to touch the wall that's past your left toes. Lower the left hand on your left leg or just to the left of it, in which the arm and leg make contact. As the right arm stretches up, notice that you're stacking your shoulders and wrists in one line. Press the crease of your left hip back towards your outer right foot. And in contrast, lengthen the top of your head forward towards the wall in front of your left toes. Spiraling your chest towards the sky, notice there's a little bit of a spinal twist here as you're gazing up past the right thumb, if that feels okay on your neck. Let's take 4 more deep breaths. Try to lighten the weight of your left hand. Feel the support of your legs. Trikonasana, triangle pose. From down to your feet, inhale, slowly rise up. Now let's come on up to the top of your mat. Bring the inner edges of your feet to touch, and we'll play with balance in tree pose or Vrikshasana. Spread your weight through the 4 corners of each foot. Spread your toes. Activate the muscles in your left leg as I mirror you here. That's going to be the standing leg. First, lift your right foot in front of you, bending the knee about the height of your hip. Find your balance here by rooting down, lifting up through the center line of your body. Breathe. Then turn out your right thigh at the hip and rotate the sitting bone towards your inner left heel, hugging the right foot against your inner left ankle, calf, or thigh. Really feel a sense of hugging. The right foot and the left leg are pressing firmly against each other to add another sense of stability. Notice if your right hip is hiking up because you lifted the leg. If so, keep drawing the sitting bone downward towards your inner left heel to create a balance in the seesaw of your left and right hips. Draw in the navel, lift it up towards the chest. If your balance feels pretty stable, you might raise your arms, palms together or palms apart. Maybe Jnana Mudra. Last 3 breaths here in Vrikshasana, tree pose. And then bring your hands together at your heart. Step your right foot down in Padasana. Hands in prayer in mountain pose. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Shift your weight into the 4 corners of your right foot and activate the muscles in that leg. Stand tall. Lift your left foot in front and flex it Take a moment to level your hips and feel an active center right below the navel. Breathe. Turn out your left thigh. Draw the sitting bone down towards your inner right heel and hug your left foot against your inner right ankle, calf, or thigh. Hug back into that foot with your right leg. Balance the seesaw of your hips. Keep the belly active. And choose a variation of your arms. Let's take 4 more breaths here in Vrikshasana, tree pose. Join your hands at your heart center. Step your left foot down. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth wide. Lion's breath. Let any sound out. And let's come on down to chair pose. Yep, chair pose. Right at the top of your mat. Feet together, knees together. Sink your weight back towards your heels. And as you extend your arms forward this time, wrap your triceps towards the ground. Spread the shoulder blades, protract. Draw the shoulder blades down, deep press. Sinking your hips slowly until your pelvis is on the floor. Then lift your legs, you're in boat pose, Navasana, 5 breaths. You catch the backs of your thighs, you can straighten the legs. Inhale, lift through your crown. Exhale, 5. Inhale, broaden your chest. Exhale, 4. Inhale, draw your navel in towards the back. Exhale, 3. Inhale, soften the face. Exhale, 2. 1 more deep breath. Exhale, set your feet down. You could slide your legs to one side or cross your ankles and step back onto hands and knees. So like I said, we're playing with exploring the path to Shirshasana, which is traditional headstand. So let's begin by sitting back on your legs. Extend your arms forward like we did in that preparation to stretch the lats with the elbows on the blocks. So wrap the triceps down, protract, press the shoulders down, deep press. Then interlace your fingers, create a snail out of your pinky fingers so you don't crush them, and keep that action of triceps rotating down, shoulder blades down the back. Now place your forearms on the floor with the elbows exactly shoulders distance apart. We're gonna start here in dolphin pose. So in dolphin pose, elbows stay shoulders width, triceps rotate towards the back of the mat, shoulder blades move down the back. Choose to either actively look forward just past the knuckles of your hands, help to open the chest, or drop the head and just let it hang freely, softening the neck. Then tuck your toes, take a deep breath, press down with your forearms and lift your hips. See if you might be able to walk your feet forward closer to your elbows while pressing your chest back towards your shins and lifting the shoulders up away from your neck. Take another 5 breaths, more or less, and we'll meet in child's pose. Now, if your elbows begin to slide apart, come down to your knees and readjust the distance between them, back to shoulders distance. This helps to create stability in your shoulders. If the elbows slide further apart, then it starts to create instability, pulling the shoulder bones out of their sockets. When you're ready, resting in Balasana or child's pose, you might want to give your shoulders a rest by wrapping the arms down by your thighs. Take about 3 deep breaths. We're going to play with 2 more rounds of dolphin. Optional, using a block under the top of your head in dolphin. We start to feel the crown of the head resting on a surface like you would in headstand. So either set up the same way, head is just floating, or place a block, lowest height, right on the floor in front of your knees. Maybe about a foot in front of your knees. And then we'll interlace the fingers, plant the elbows, Shoulders width apart. Similarly, wrap the triceps back, shoulders away from the neck. And here, bring your hairline towards the block, but we're not putting a lot of weight on our head. Most of the weight is your forearms pushing the floor away. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips. Press the very top fronts of your thigh bones back. Like I'm standing at the rear of your mat and I'm pulling your hips towards the back wall, as well as lifting your hips towards the ceiling. As you're breathing, 5 breaths more or less here before you come to rest to child's pose. Belly is active, chest is pressing towards the shins. And then when you're ready, you might even use that block to rest your forehead on. Maybe wrap the arms back by your shins. Maybe turn the head to one side to stretch your neck. 3 deep breaths. We've got one more round of these preparatory stages to dolphin pose. All right, this next stage is to take dolphin pose. This is optional, of course. You can take one of the first 2 stages that we practice. Is to take dolphin pose with the crown of your head on the ground. Now that starts to set up the base, which will be carrying your weight when you're in Shirshasana headstand. And you don't have to lift your legs. You can play with a lifting one if you like. So set up your forearms the same way we've been doing, elbows, shoulders width, interlace the fingers. This time bring the very crown of your head to the floor so that the back of your skull is lightly supported by the inner webbing of your palms. Remember, in headstand, your weight is mostly supported by your forearms pressing the floor away so that you're not crushing your neck. If you have any neck injuries, don't place your head on the ground, just take dolphin pose. Otherwise, tuck your toes, walk your feet forward if possible, and maybe even start to lift your heels to start to feel the pelvis tilting upside down. And maybe you're on your toes as you flex one foot and raise a straight leg up towards the sky, squaring your hips by hugging your outer hips towards your midline. Keep pressing the floor away with the forearms so most of your weight is on your forearms. Little weight is on the top of your head. You want to maintain spaciousness through all the sides of your neck. Some of you might already practice your Shasana and lift both legs, completely turning the pelvic bowl upside down and stacking it right above your shoulder girdle. So there's a stacking of major joints in the body, just like in mountain pose. The ankles over the hips, over the shoulders. How's the breath? When you're ready, back to child's pose, maybe resting the opposite ear to the ground if you stretched your neck before. 3 breaths. Let's come all the way to the ground, lying on the belly. You have the inner shoulders to stretch after that with 2 rounds of Dhanurasana bow. So I invite you, if it's reachable, to catch hold of the inside of your ankles or feet. If that's not reachable, you might go into hold on to the outside of your hands, of your feet. Have your knees no wider than hips width apart. Press your pubic bone into the floor, and then kick your feet back as you pull your feet towards your glutes, lifting your knees. Coil your chest up and draw your shoulders down the back. You're here for 5 or so breaths. Bow pose. Dhanurasana. This is also a helpful posture for stimulating your digestion as you place weight on your abdomen here and stretch the abdominal wall. When you're ready, maybe make a pillow out of your forearms and rest. One ear on top, again stretching your neck. 3 breaths. Same pose or optional bound locust. Bound locust is where you keep the legs straight. You parallel lifting them as you clasp your hands behind your back. stretching the knuckles of your hands towards your feet. Otherwise, bow pose again, 5 to 10 breaths, your count. And when you're done, maybe make a pillow out of your forearms and turn your head to the opposite side. And perhaps this time, bend your knees and windshield wiper your shins, dropping your feet side to side to help release your lower back of any tension. Inhale through the nose and fill up your abdomen. Give your belly a massage. Open the mouth, clear it out to cool off. One more. Inhale into the belly. Exhale through the mouth. And then let's press up to sit. Bring your legs out in front of you to prepare for a seated twist. Extend your left leg forward. As I'm marrying you here, step your right foot either on the ground in front of the hip or cross it outside of your left knee. You might also bend your left knee there. Just make sure your two sitting bones are evenly grounded, your spine is upright. Backstroke your right hand to the ground behind your pelvis and raise your left arm. Press into the ground, even with the sole of your right foot, and lift up through the center of your spine. Relax the shoulders down and breathe in. Exhale, twist to your right, lower your left arm to hold your shin, or hook the elbow outside of your thigh. Pressing downward to breathe in and stretch the spine upward. Exhale, hollow your belly, continue to rotate your chest. Maybe looking over your right shoulder. 3 more breaths. As you exhale, unwind your spine, and let's set up for a hip opening forward fold. Whether you cross the right shin forward or on top of the left shin, or stack your ankles and knees while flexing your feet for double pigeon pose. Again, ground your sitting bones, lift your spine tall, then exhale, begin to bow from your hips. Start to lift your chest and breathe in to rise up. Stretch your legs forward, relax your feet. Let's start with a twist. Try to set up the same way if you can. Left foot steps in front of the left hip or outside the right knee. Maybe bend the right knee. Backstroke the left hand to the floor behind your pelvis. Raise the right arm. Press into the ground and sit taller as you breathe in. Twist to your left as you breathe out and lower your right arm. Maybe hook the elbow outside your thigh. Press into the floor, sit up taller as you breathe in, draw the shoulders down your back. Exhale, hollow your belly, continue to turn your rib cage. Maybe look behind you for 3 more breaths. And unwind your spine and cross your left shin forward or on top of your right shin for our hip opening forward fold. You might come into double pigeon, in which you stack your ankles and knees while flexing your feet. Root down through your sitting bones, sit up tall, breathe in. Extend your chest forward as you exhale to bow little by little from your hips. Lead from your chest, inhale to slowly rise. Let's straddle the legs apart, coming into your variation of Upavishta Konasana. Roll your sitting bones down, point your knees and toes up. It might be helpful to lightly flex your feet to keep your sitting bones grounded. Lift your chest. You might also have a pillow or blocks in front of you to catch your forearms or your torso or your forehead. Then as you exhale, whatever capacity you can keep your spine long, like a flat back, begin to bow from your hips. Some of you might feel plenty happening by not folding forward, and that's completely fine. See what's appropriate for you right now as we take 4 more slow breaths in through the nose and even slower exhales through the mouth to help cool down. You might count from 5 as you inhale and from 7 as you exhale through the mouth. When you're ready, slowly press the ground away with your hands, lift your chest, come on up, bring your legs together, make your way onto your back, find your variation of shoulder stand or simply lifting your legs up higher than your heart in a way that helps you to cool down. You could come into happy baby pose. You could lift the legs like an L shape. Plow pose if your neck is healthy and uninjured. Last 5 to 10 breaths here as we're winding down towards corpse pose. Take your time to mindfully place your body in a position in which it can completely relax and be still in. You might place an eye pillow on if you have one, a blanket over your pelvis so that weight is to soothe and ground. Whatever you need to bring your body to a comfortable resting position. And once there, close your eyes. Maybe take one last long exhalation through the mouth. And here we are, Savasana, 5 minutes before meditation. As you lie still, take a moment to observe how your practice so far has affected your body, your mind, and energetic state. Continue with this inward focus, maybe keeping your eyes closed as you begin to move your body gently, easing it out of stillness in your own way, and slowly lifting your body upright and finding a comfortable seat for our 5 minutes sitting in meditation. So I invite you today to choose your means of meditating, whether it be chanting a mantra in your head or a positive affirmation that relates to your intention for this practice, or your intention, your big intention for your new year. Or you can practice mindfulness meditation, in which you're just observing what you pay attention to without becoming attached. And when you do become attached, just returning back to that seat of observing as many times as you need to. Or maybe it's gazing meditation. Maybe you have a candle in front that you could steady your gaze on. So choose your practice. Sit tall, relaxed, comfortably, and let's begin. 5 minutes. begin to expand your attention from your inside world to your outer world, feeling your physical body, observing the space around it, even if your eyes are closed. And then joining your palms to meet at your heart center. Let's close the practice together, chanting one Om. Empty this breath. Inhale deeply. Thank you for sharing your practice. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.